A very good morning to you and welcome to yet another exciting program in Kajiado West Sub-Region. Today we are launching and bringing you a brand new program for the teenagers in Kajiado West Sub-Region. So today we are not having opposition and opposition. It's Saturday, people, so which this means that we are starting at a very high note here on TGT. It's Executing Your Talent, and I'm your host, of course, Eliud Achero. We are in Deliverance Church in Bulbul today, and we are bringing you talented teenagers from the Kajiado West Sub-Region. They are generally super talented and are high performers who have a track record of accomplishment and demonstrated ability to build the next generation through their talent. Please, if you have a talent, we have a plan for you, and that's coming up on TGT with a lot more, hanging out with the special guests. So let us know where you're watching us from as we build up to a very late show. Keep the conversation going on social media. The hashtag is TGT, or you can also tweet directly to my account at Eliud_Achero. My Facebook page is Achero Eliud. A very good morning from Deliverance Church and Bulbul. Teens Talk begins right now. I'm your host, Eliud Achero. The substance of discussion today is executing your talent against impediments. That's where we begin our conversation this morning. When someone avails himself to do the work of God all the way from high school, Christian Union to university, group representative in Coast, he's gone around the world. He's traveled country after country, continent after another. And in his line of duty, he's a motivator, inspirational leader. This is a man with an amazing story of inspiration. He is here to give us hope, especially for those outside there who feel there's no hope for tomorrow. Listen to this man, because he was telling me a while ago he used to be the treasurer of church groups. Look at the man now. He is now an accountant at Plan International Company, Pastor Nicodemus Kenga. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, welcome back to Kenya. Welcome back to Kenya.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Yeah. So, first of all, you had the passion to do the works of God, all the way from high school to university up to date. Talk to me a little bit about that.
I want to say I really appreciate you so much for this opportunity to be here. Everyone who is a believer in God should always know that it's by the grace of God to see another day, and also it is by the grace of God that you can have an opportunity even to share your life story. Well, now back to your question. I think I've been, I wasn't born or brought up in a Christian family, but as I was starting my early life or my childhood, I'm one who always avoided anything that was ungodly. And therefore, even with my peers, there are times that at that time I didn't know what I was doing, but I always found that when they are taking me to some places that they feel comfortable, but I would just not feel comfortable.
Yeah, you had a distaste of those issues that were ungodly.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then when I came to, I started now schooling, is when now I discovered that I had a passion for God. And from high school to the university, I would say that was the time that I really lived for God. And even when I came out from university, I've always been living for God and have been having a passion to please God.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So you had a passion to you used to be a leader in an active Bible study and missions. What are some of the impediments or challenges rather that you faced in the process of these activities?
Well, I should say that in the university, I was having I was the treasurer in not the Christian Union, but it was the group that was coming from the coast. I come from the coast personally, So I was the treasurer, and therefore I was actually in the leadership on organizing missions. And one of the challenges that we usually used to have was raising funds for missions. And what we used to do is basically to go out to friends and also encouraging every member that you wanted to attend those missions to be able to raise funds. And one of the things that is for me is very, very crucial is that never see something as really impossible, because that's actually the beginning of your failure. But even if you need a lot of funds, for example, when we needed to go to a far place and we needed a bit of a high amount of funds, we would start by saying, we will divide this into small, portions. Therefore, you will define now the mountain is actually reduced to something small. And then, of course, we requested the funds from different friends.
So were the members in that group quite skeptical about the issue of you being the treasurer? Because being the treasurer is not easy. People might say, this guy can consume some of the funds. Were there such issues, or how did you overcome them, or how did you deal with them?
I must say that for me, I was the people's choice. So, and I've always desired that in every place that I'm serving, I always say I'm not a politician, I am a man of God, and therefore in whatever capacity I was serving from that time, if the people feel that I'm contributing to them, I'm relevant, I will be there. If they find that I'm not relevant, I'm not going to stick there for the sake of me being there. And therefore, I think the reason why they actually kept me there is because I was, they were seeing I was resourceful in terms of raising funds. I was even having some ideas, so they kept me there because I was relevant. Yeah.
So you are elected, rightfully elected by the members of
Yes, actually in most of the areas that I was serving, we were actually having elections and I was elected by the members. We used to do some secret balloting, and therefore it was not the Mulolongo type. Yeah, but it was actually secret balloting, and therefore you become, you win fairly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So something that you mentioned to me earlier, God is not looking for experienced people. So I'm sure at that time when you used to be the treasurer, you were not experienced, you didn't know how to handle such issues, such money, huge amount sum of money. So, but you had the passion to indulge in the works of God. So you availed yourself to the work of God and break it. So please, would you mind to break it down to the audience that outside, those who are outside there, that God is not looking for experienced people. So what is God looking at if not for experienced people?
God, in my experience, God is not looking for experienced people because what God is actually looking for is a teachable spirit in a person. And therefore, you find that humility is the key to Christian leadership. Whoever, there's this popular saying that says, whoever God calls, he also equips. I fully believe in it. There are times that I used to do some things, I wasn't sure. But then after I have done it, I realized that I've done it so well. And I ask myself, but where did I get all this, this talent? By that time, I wasn't really that experienced. So what I discovered is that we as human beings, we focus so much on the skills, we focus so much on papers. But really, even today, when you go to the working world, people are not very much interested. They will be interested in your papers as an entry point to the organization. But when you get into the organization, you discover again what they are looking for is a person who has a passion for work, you know.
Yes.
And that is exactly what God is also looking after. God is looking for somebody who has a passion to do his job. I had a passion for God, and that is what actually really helped me. You discover again, there is what we call revelation knowledge. As a pastor, I've discovered that in this world, we really don't value so much revelation knowledge. We value university knowledge, we value, and I'm not here to say that university degrees are not important. They are very, very important. If you can have opportunity to get them, get them. But what I discover as also we need to consider is the revelation knowledge that God just brings to you. Because you have a passion for God, God brings to you some revelation knowledge. He reveals some deep, deep things. And those are the things that can help you to manage. Like sometimes when you are managing difficult groups, God would just reveal, bring some ideas to you, and you find that you are being effective. Finally, you solve the problem as if maybe you have maybe a degree in conflict management. Not really. You don't have a degree in conflict management. But what has made you to excel is the revelation knowledge that God just gives you. Yeah.
Okay, let me take you back to the way you used to handle the funds. How did you keep them, or did you have an bank account, or did you have a home bank, or how did you handle the money?
Mostly we were not contributing funds like for a project that was to come. So in most cases, we would just collect funds for projects that we want to implement. For example, we want to have missions, we just contribute for the missions. We want to have some, maybe a fellowship which will be involving some, so we used to have. But what is key in all financial management is proper records. And I think that is an area that I used to excel. And the proper records, sometimes for me, by that time, I didn't know a lot of bookkeeping or what, but I was just figuring out in terms of what if people wanted to understand about the finances they have given me, what is it that they will require? And therefore, I would create a column where we have a date. Because everybody who gives you funds or who wants to know about the funds that you received would want to know when did you receive it. So I would find myself, I'm creating a column for a date. And then, who did you receive that money from? So I would find myself creating a column of the money, the person who gave the money. And then, of course, what denomination. So I would find myself creating those columns. And what has come in and what has gone out. So by that time, I didn't have a lot of knowledge of bookkeeping. But the fact that in me, I would have the passion of having a record so that whoever comes in future and would want to understand would actually be able to see, to understand. And that is what really helped me.
So your journey was so smooth. Weren't there some circumstances of crisis concerning the way you fund them, or the crisis within the committee, or of course there has to be the chairman, the secretary, the treasurer. So was the journey smooth or a little bit bumpy?
It wasn't very smooth because I think in this world, you don't expect everything to be smooth. There are times that there will be some challenges. For instance, even when you have accounted for every coin, there will be those who will doubt whether you are accounting for every coin. But I think what is important for you is you always do your best. So for me, that has always been my motto. When you give me a position or whatever you give me a task, I always would want to do my best. And therefore, if I have done my best, then I'm not worried because at least I'm able to explain whatever weaknesses there has been. I remember there's another time that we went for a mission, and we hadn't collected enough funds. And we went, then when we came back, we hired some vehicle. So when we came back, the money that we were to give this guy, he said it is not enough, and that was the only amount that was remaining. So
did you go to your pocket, or how did you go about it?
I didn't go back to my pocket, but everybody was actually looking at to me. But somehow, among the committee members, we just said, anybody who has money. And therefore, that also teaches me that in every crisis, God is going to raise somebody with a solution. So we got some funds from, a small contribution for each, especially the committee members, and we were able to pay that guy. Actually, he wanted to drop us halfway not halfway, but he wanted to drop us at the city center, and we wanted to go to Kenyatta University. And remember, this is at night, So we were wondering, if the guy leaves us here, how will we get ourselves to the campus, So, but there will always be some solution. And that's why, for somebody who is a born-again Christian, your faith in God is very, very important, because you discover that whatever challenge you go through, God will come around. And mostly, in my experience, God will not come around when you are still sourcing for ideas. God will always wait until the time that you are totally exhausted, your ideas are totally exhausted. That's when God shows up. So don't give up when you are still doing or you are searching certain things, because when you are totally, you've come to your end, that's the beginning of God. Yes. And faith is actually knowing that God is there with me and God will show up always.
You are a pastor, of course, so would you mind, now according to the statutes of the Bible, now how does God reveal himself to the people who have availed themselves to do the works of God?
Thank you. I think that's a very, very important question. And, one of the things that we have been taught is that, like God reveals himself like through dreams or through some dramas. And always, like when these things have not happened to us, God has not yet revealed to us. But I normally say this: God usually reveals himself to us in those moments, especially when we are in difficult moments. And then God shows up. God brings up a solution. You discover this was God. Sometimes even the challenges that we go through these challenges so that we can see God. For example, when you go through a certain situation, and then somehow God brings up an answer, then you discover there is God. So we should not wait for, God to show himself like through dramas, but in our very day-to-day things that we do, we see God. God shows up himself maybe in our families, Sometimes there is a crisis in your family, and then somehow God performs a miracle. So it is these small things that sometimes we ignore that happen in our normal lives, that actually God is actually talking to us.
Yes. Interesting. So God is going to reveal to you your revelation when you give yourself to his works. He's going to reveal to you your destiny, your future, your job opportunities, and I hope you are enthused as I am. We take a very short break, but when we come back, a few teenagers will be joining us here who have fallen victims of impediments. Remember the hashtag is TGT. We'll be right back after the break. welcome back. I've got a few teenagers with me here, and they're going to talk a little bit about the impediments, or rather the challenges they have been facing in the process of executing their talent. I'm going to start from my far left. Please introduce yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Gilbert, aka Boogie, aka Mr. Yaniville, and I will be performing rapping and a spoken word. Thank you.
Najeni wase, kwa majina naitwa Frederick Santana, but wase wanitaga Fred the Poet. I'm a spoken word artist.
Sasen, mimi naitwa Moffat, aka Painkiller. I'll be performing comedy.
Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Gilbert. Talk to me a little bit about your talent.
Okay, I got both rapping and spoken word. As a semani, let's say inborn, cause nazasema tu ni inborn. Rapping started all the way back in class 8, but sikuwa naichukulia serious. Nilikuwa na chocho naambiwa ati wewe unakula tu mdomo, hakuna kitu nasema hapo. Spoken word ulikuwa unaambiwa there is nothing you're saying, kila kitu hapo is just crap. So back in those days nilikuwa naonanga yenyewe siwezi. Pengine it's not in my blood kufanya something like that. But nikiwa form 1, so when I recognize that talent is everything. Because for me, studies siwezi sema ati nilikuwa mbaya. Nilikuwa tu hapo. Lakini talent ndio nilikuwa majorize nayo. Because according to, I see Kenya where we lie. Naspendi kaya hapo. I want to take Kenya to a far place. Representing it in a bigger thing. Like, huwa nasikia vibaya nikiona other artists introduce from USA, UK. Unasikia the energy, the vibe. Si tunacopy everything they have. Nigerian music, tunacopy everything. But I want to bring something new.
With me coming to discover my talent, actually it was a big sacrifice. Because actually I started doing spoken word for a long time, but I never knew what it was. Because I started with drawing, I was a good drawer. Then I came to doing dancing. But I felt like this was not my thing. So when I went back to high school, there was this mambo ya talent show. So niko naandika lines, naziperform. So wase wako like, hey, big up. So nilipoendaga theater for the first time nikiwa form 2. Nikakutana na dem fulani anaitwa Kuikari. He's a spoken word artist as well. So akaniambia, boy, uko poa lakini ila in bado uko chini. So nikamwambia, so nifundishe basi. So niko na kani joke. Then akanifanyia poem moja, then I was like, okay, uko poa. So what should I do? So ndo akanifundisha the steps. Now from there, that's when I came to learn. But it's a bit difficult to become accepted in this industry. Yeah.
Okay, to you, Moffat, as a comedian, talk to me a little bit about that talent.
Okay, on my side, I'll say this. It started like a joke. When I was in high school, I was one of the jokers. Teacher could refer me like, yule kijana anacheza darasani kila wakati. So it started from there. So far so good. We have done some auditions, and we are waiting for the call from Churchill Row. So God willing, I might be joining them. Yeah.
Ushawahi perform alafu watu wakakosa kucheka?
Yeah, it happens. You may go to stage, you have your comedy, but when you got into stage, you perform it, people will still be looking at you. You'll be like, have I talked something wrong? And you thought it was a joke. It really kills your morale, but you have to move on. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's some of the challenges that encompasses the field of comedy. Back to you, Mr. Rapper. What are the challenges that you faced as a rapper, or in the process of executing your talent as a rapper?
Finding the words is all I can say, because it's kind of hard kupata the rhyming words. So whenever you get time, you have to think hard and fast kupatafuta words zenye zita rhyme, and thinking of lines zenye zitaingiana na the word, zenye zitakuwa zenye zitaharibia your nini personality, cause unaweza sema something kwa parents ikue something else waifikirie differently, so you have to consider everything that you write and what you sing.
So what are some of these kind of words that you have been looking for?
Describing all of them can be hard.
Because
But-
as a rapper, I'm not a rapper, but you'll tell me what you think. You can quote Bible verses. I know those are lines. You can find the words, or how do you do it?
For me, just let me say, I'm a fan of music, all type of music. So most of my time I spend listening to music. Ni every genre, hip hop, gospel, rhythm, reggae. Ndo at least ukuwe na content ya every nini genre. So ikifika saa ya kuandika, ndo saa hapo ndo story inaanza. Cause the minute unaanza the first word, already kona ushaona kila kitu litakuwa, ushaona flow, so niwe ujue vile utaweka the words. So kama ni gospel ita depend tu, cause at times mostly at night ndo mostly naweza sema huwa anakuwa free. That's when I get the time to think, and that's when I get the words.
To the spoken word artist, what are some of the challenges?
Challenges actually are many, very many of them, because actually, for me to be accepted in this spoken word industry, it was a big problem, because I was going to places to perform, then unafika kwa gate watu wanakuuliza like umekuja kutafuta kazi na wenye kwa mdogo, so I was like kwani imeandikwa wapi kazi hizi kutafutwa na mtu mdogo? So those are the challenges. Then you go to a places, the way mtu anakuangalia na anajiuliza like huyu anakuja kufanya nini? So there are challenges. Usiambiwe ati challenges hakuna. Challenges are there, but is how are you going to cope with these challenges? I remember when I started doing spoken word, I started it in the church. Na niliperform lane ya kwanza, nikamaliza, then the next Sunday nikaperform lane ya pili. So the that Sunday kulikuwa na kuna elders wa church. So mmoja akakuja akanitoa nje akaniambia, "Wewe kijana unasema nini? Hizi nini unakuja kutuambia kwa kanisa?" So I was like, I didn't know that I was doing something wrong. I felt like it was wrong. But later on they came and accepted a spoken word as a part of something.
To you, Mr. Comedian, apart from people not laughing at your jokes, what are some of the other challenges?
Okay, some of the other challenges are from parents. You know, the parents, this is Kenya we live. They know you have to go to primary, high school, university, get employed, have some money. But when you talk of you want to do some comedy, some parents will be like, "Hii ndio nilikupeleka shule kufanya." That's what they will ask. So some challenges are from parents, but when you bring something to the table, unajua hawezi kataa pesa. So when you do comedy, parents sometimes try to challenge you because they will also refer you to somebody. Unajua unaona wale watoto wa fulani fulani, unaona anybody mwenye amekuwa comedian and they're your age mates. So those are some challenges. Others is the peer pressure from friends. Some friends don't believe in others. Somebody will like to discourage you, like comedy cannot take you anywhere. You're just wasting time. Wale watu wamefika Churchill show, the relatives. So those are some of the challenges. Yeah.
So as we take a break, those who doubt that this guy can crack your ribs and those who doubt that this guy can perform an oral art, and if the other guy on my far left can vocally deliver a rhythmic speech, you better tune in. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back. I'll introduce you to our judges. Today we are pleased to welcome Judge Edwin Chetambe on my far left. He is an analyst and a youth leader at Deliverance Church in Bulbul. We also have Judge Esther Wairimo. She is a minister at Deliverance Church Milimani and a comedian part-time. She will be performing to us shortly. You will get to see that. We also have Judge Collins Dahabu. He is an engineer at Terrain Company and an author of Turning Point. This panel of judges constitutes professionals. They will be touching a little bit about the criteria that they will be using to judge our teenagers, but they are here at least to give us some hints so that these teenagers can be at a safer side. I'll start with you, Judge Edwin Chetambe. Which criteria will you guys be using?
Why do you want me to talk? But thank you so much, our host. Eliud. I think as we have been talking about you about this Teens Got Talent, and there are many of the things you are going to talk about. You are going to look, or the criteria you are going to use, and I'm just going to look at two of them. The others will be talked by our judges. First of all, we shall be looking at the creativity. How creative are you in presenting your comedy or drama or music or that dance? How creative are you? The second thing, maybe we are going to look at your performance. How are you going to involve the audience? Are you going to let the people know that you are performing to them? And how good are you? Are you going to use those gestures? Are you going to articulate your voice in the right manner? Those are the issues you are going to look at as you are going to judge, or the criteria you are going to use. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Yeah, we are going to check on, first of all, are you following the rhythm, coordination, time, range, and your costumes. So this is serious business, and then from there we'll be able to know how far are you talented and how can we make your talents to take you very far. Because in our country, most of us, the talents have taken them very far, and it's good to nurture your talents at this age so that tomorrow you'll be a better one than today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our host, Eliud Achero. My name is Dhahabu Collins. As you've heard, I'm a writer, the author of the book called A Turning Point. And I'm passionate about the issue of youth because I believe the future belongs to the youth. First, I'll talk about that before I introduce you to what is called the criteria of today. If you look at the statistics, over 60% of the world population today, these are youths. That means there's a big and a great future ahead that belongs to our youth. So we really value, we are going to be very lenient and we are going to follow up because we know everybody here is talented, but in different ways. That's why you have heard my fellow judges talking about creativity. It doesn't matter what you say, but it matters how you say it. That's what you're looking forward to see. So come there with confidence. I'll be looking at that specifically. Come there very, very creative. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else can believe in you. So come there truly believing in yourself. Be the true you, the original you. Even if you are singing somebody else's song, own it. Let it be yours. Let it be like yours. So come there. Don't panic. Believe in yourself. Put your best forward. You know. So don't worry. I'm waiting for you. I know everybody here, especially all the teens that I'm seeing here, they're very creative and they're talented. So you come. We're waiting for you.
I'll start with you, Judge Edwin Chetambe. As we wrap up the show, what would you like to tell those who will be performing?
Yeah, thank you so much. This is what I want to tell you, that as you are going to come to explore your talents or just to present, as we are going to look upon you, remember we have a lot of people here. I heard that one of our leaders from the county may be coming. We have our pastors here. They are looking at you. Come with a good message. Come with a good show that you are going to present unto people. And remember, as my fellow judges have said, this may be a stepping stone to nurture your talent. Because look at this country. It's like now 35% of the people, those who have learned, they don't have the jobs. And if you are going to use your talent in the right manner, I'm telling you, it is going to take you to places. And maybe this is the first time that you are going to use. And remember, this is also a godly place. As you are going to do it for God, I'm going to tell you, God is also going to see that talent because you are doing it for Him. And at the end of it all, God is going to reward you. So I want you to relax. I want you to come and present at your best. Come with the passion. Do it as if you are doing it for yourself first. Such that when you are going to look at it, unajua, this is the right thing that I'm doing. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Orimo, just an insight to the performers. What would you like to tell them?
Whatever you are going to present, let it be godly, because we want everything to be done in godly manner. Most of us, the Christians, we are borrowing so many things from the world. This is a church thing. So whatever you are going to rap, whatever you are going to sing the songs, we'll check, is it godly? Or are you outside what you are supposed to do? Because we want you, even if you have the talents, let them be in the godly manner. Let you be a person who is God-fearing person. Because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of everything. So once you fear the Lord, everything will be fine. And we are looking forward to see that. God bless you.
Just to wrap up, I'll tell you that long time ago when God created the world, He had you in mind, and He gave everybody a talent. And so many years ago, over 150 years ago, there existed some youths. It was not you. It was their turn. But this is 2018. It's your turn. So let us know what you have got for this generation. And you know, we are waiting for you to show us what you're hiding in yourself. Thank you so much.
All right, all right. So join us every holiday at Deliverance Church and Bulbul. The dates will always be updated on our social media platforms. Keep the conversation always. The hashtag is TGT or Teenstalk. See you next time, same place.